You know, we need to be about the business of creating generational wealth. And you'll find that all of our companies, whether it's Roberts Properties or Roberts Broadcasting or Roberts Hotels Group, etc., it all leads with the name Roberts. I just did a radio show, Warren Ballantyne, just a little while ago, national syndicated guy. And I said, you know, people would come up to me and say, well, you know, it's Roberts this and Roberts that. Mike, what is that? Some kind of an ego problem? I said, look, brother, what do you have? Some kind of an envy problem? I said, you didn't say that to Mr. Rockefeller, Mr. Mellon, and Mr. Ford, Mr. Walt Disney, and there you are sipping on that Bud Weiser. And you didn't say that to Mr. Anheuser-Busch. The book is entitled, Action Has No Season. It's an existential statement. It's meaning that the action you need to take is not something that comes seasonally, it comes now. I coined the word, the actionaire, Coach. It is one who takes their ideas, their dreams, their aspirations, their vision, and they pursue it with courage and confidence and bravado. Now, every day when you wake up, you're given 86,400 seconds. Those mathematicians who are figuring that out, that is 24 hours. And we grow and gain from experiences. In business, we don't always have the outcome that we would have liked to have had, but we have learned from that. And we will grow from that. So therefore, there's no such thing as failure. How many of you think outside the box? Raise your hand. All right, now it's time for everybody to get spanked. If you're living outside of the box, or you're thinking outside of the box, doesn't that presume from time to time you are in a box? And if you're in a box, what is the size of your box? Is it limited to one idea? Is it limited to the size of a room? And realize that we are in a global economy. There is a difference between power and authority. Well, at the same time, you're looking at countries like Microsoft and Dell and Hewlett-Packard and Motorola, all investing billions of dollars in those countries. And in those countries, what we're seeing is a rise of businesses that are out here to compete with you and your jobs therefore are fungible. What does that mean? It means at any point, at any time, somebody can come along and take your job and that dirty word, outsource it. That is why you need to be in business, Black Chamber, because nobody can outsource you. You are that outsource component. And as we look and structure the way the future is going to be, and as a futurist, I can assure you that it will work this way, that you will be plugged into companies and plugged out, plugged in and plugged out on a global basis. That's what's going to work. It's not going to be those long-term clients that's going to be around forever and you can rely upon one or two clients. No. You have to always be aggressive. You have to learn to give more for less. But in a global environment, that's a bigger field. It makes sense of us. Booker T. Washington once said, and I'm just sort of paraphrase this, a slave is one who does not enjoy the fruits of their labor. So what is having a job? There was a light bulb being invented. Edison had critics, and you will get critics. People will criticize you. Your family's going to say, don't you go into business for yourself. You know, Uncle Joe did it one time, and you know what happened to him? No, don't you let those critics get in your way. Don't you ever let critics get in your way. I'm going to tell you what happened to Edison. Edison had tried 1,000 times to invent the light bulb. 1,000 times. And he had critics. But one day, he had a press conference. And he was taking questions, and it was near the end. And they asked him, well, what do you think, what do you have to say to your critics now? Edison never said a word. He just walked around the podium and turned on the light bulb. I want you to turn on that light bulb too. Don't you worry about critics. I want you to eliminate the fear of failure. I want you to be no box thinkers. I want you to look at who you are and realize that you are perfect. You need to empty yourself and then come back with a degree of knowledge. You know, too frequently we're full of ourselves, aren't we? And when you're full, you're not hungry. Nobody can tell you anything. You always know everything. Anybody know anybody like that? Well, I want you to realize that the first thing as of this luncheon today is that I want you to empty yourself. And I want you to take the philosophy and the knowledge to seriously contemplate what it means to eliminate the fear of failure. That's a personal, internal point for you. Let's become actionaries, the word that I coined. Let's believe in our ideas, our dreams, our aspirations. Let's pursue them with courage and confidence and bravado. Believe me, folks, you can get it done.